Hey everyone, welcome back to the Mark Loeffler Experience. Today we're going to go through the Fear Greed Index. What is Warren Buffett doing? What am I doing in this environment? How am I going to use this to my advantage? How can you use this to your advantage? I'm meeting a lot of you guys out there. I met a lot of you guys out there at the Western Apartment Conference. Thanks everyone who came up to me and said hello. I really do appreciate it, and thanks for all the feedback on the videos. And I mean, you guys are the ones watching this. You guys say you love it, so here we are. We're doing it again. So what's Warren Buffett doing? Well, this is his indicator, by the way. So we're in extreme fear. I mean, it was lower a week ago. 1 week ago it was at 6. Now it's at 9. So people are less fearful this week than they were last week. But I think this is a great time to be negotiating on things. I mean, heck, I walked away from that 4-bedroom, 3-bath townhome because I was like, am I overpaying? Is the market going to correct a little bit? Maybe. And what happened? Well, it's coming back to me now and I have more room to negotiate. And, you know, we're negotiating on multiple apartment buildings right now for the simple fact that I think our strategy is pretty recession proof. And don't forget, watch Monday's video because we're going to talk all about the coming recession. That one you do not want to miss. Last month we were at 42. 1 year ago we were at 31. So people were pessimistic last year. And then what happened? We boomed through 2021. Are we going to boom through this? Well, let's just be honest. There's just not as much money floating out there. The government is not putting as much money out there right now as they did last year. They're basically constraining the money supply right now. There is so much money sitting out there waiting to buy into the market right now. It could just be as quick as that. Hey, remember March 21st in 2020 when they flipped the switch and the market started going up for 2 years? Yeah, it could be that. Because there's so much money sitting on the sideline right now. Look at this. Stock price breadth. Extreme fear. Stock price strength, extreme fear. Puts and call options, extreme fear. Market volatility. It's only just fear on market volatility. Safe haven demand, extreme fear. Junk bond demand, extreme fear. People are fearful out there, apparently. Saying all that, what is the world's greatest investor doing at this time? Warren Buffett bought $41.5 million in net stock purchases. So that means he sold some and he bought some, but he spent overall $41.5 billion more than he sold. And that's not even including buying back his own shares in Berkshire shares, $3.2 billion, and acquiring another company for $11.6 billion outright. So that is, it's $55 billion he spent. So he spent $55 billion over the course, and that's net, right? So that's not including what he sold, because he sold a bunch of stocks too. We're going through what he's kind of loading up on and what he's selling at this time. So what Warren's buying? Well, he bought a few more shares in Apple. I think he likes Apple. What else has he bought a few more shares of here? Oh, here's one that he sold almost all of, Verizon. He basically sold 99% of his stake in Verizon. So I'm sure that 1% is probably gone right now because this is a filing from March 31st, right? Like he has to file every quarter all of his transactions. Kroger, he's down. He sold 5.5% of his stake. Activision, he bought huge into Activision. He really likes ATVI. I think it was announced at that time that Microsoft was buying it, so I think he made a pretty penny there. And here's what he's selling. So he's selling all his pharma stocks. Like he sold Abbey, Bristol Myers, Royalty Pharma. So it looks like he's getting out of the pharma business. Maybe he thinks COVID's over, so they're going to stop selling as much, and therefore, they're not going to do as well. Here's an interesting one. He did buy into Formula One Group. So he must like what they're doing. He bought a. I mean, it's not for Warren. This is not a big purchase, right? Like, let's be honest. You know, half a bill isn't really that much for the greatest investor of all time. Floor and Decor Holdings. We added some to that. sold all of the rest of his remaining Wells Fargo shares. I don't think this is a comment about the banking sector in the US. I think this is a comment about Wells Fargo in particular. Warren used to be one of the biggest shareholders in Wells Fargo, and he's slowly been selling those shares over time. I think just because he doesn't like the management of the company. Here's some big purchases. Obviously, $7 billion, almost $8 billion in Oxy. Not that type of Oxy, folks. Occidental Petroleum Corp. So he's betting big on oil. He's thinking that oil is going to move. And by the way, this is the end of March. I think he's been right so far. I think he's had a great 6 weeks. Like, his average price on that is $56. So it closed down, it's at $62. And what did we say his? $56. So, I mean, in the first quarter, he's up, what, 10-12% on that? And let's be honest, we all know Warren's not in it for the short time. He's not going to take that and say, oh, I made 12% on my money, I made $1 billion. Oh, it's only $1 billion, who cares? He's probably still buying. He's probably buying all these dips. He took a big stake in HP. I believe that's 11 or 12% of HP in general, so almost $4 billion. So he's pretty much flat on that. Again, Warren probably doesn't care about what happens in the next 6 to 12 months. This is not his modus operandi. His modus operandi is to look out, is this company going to be worth a heck of a lot more in 3, 4, 5 to 10 years? And I'm telling you, you should be investing in this environment, number one. Number two, you need a long-term outlook in today's environment rather than a short-term one, because if you're investing short-term in an extreme fear environment, you can get crushed. So long-term, buy stocks in companies that you want to hold long-term, that you think is going to do really, really well long-term. That's all I'm doing, is I'm buying real estate right now and shares of stuff that I think is going to do well long-term. I basically put it away, forget about it, and I move on. My real estate, obviously, that I'm buying is value add. I always recommend everybody buy value add if you can, because that's where you're going to get your biggest bang for your buck. And wait for it, guys. I just got the commitment letter on the financing, and some appraisals came back in, so look for that video next week, probably next Thursday, where we're going to run the numbers on the first 2 buildings we bought in Alberta and how we did on those based on the appraisal and what everything's going to come in at. Citigroup, Ally Financial, so obviously he still likes the financials. I don't even know what McKesson Corp is. This whole thing is to show you that Warren Buffett lives by this rule. Be greedy when others are fearful, and fearful when others are greedy. So last year, he famously said there's nothing to buy, the stock market is overvalued. So here's the thing, based on Warren Buffett's indicator that the stock market is still 175%, 33% above the standard deviation. So here's historical trend line. It's coming back down to it, and it may, you see, Warren must have been buying huge at this time and these times, and he was, we know he was, he bought Coke through all that time, he bought, Amex through all that time. This is where he loaded up on Apple at, dirt cheap prices, because I remember I was trading back then, and I was like, I loved Apple, and apparently Warren did too, and it was good for both of us. Warren's buying right now. I'm buying right now. What are you guys doing out there? Are you guys fearful of this? Be greedy, but long-term investing right now. This is a long-term investment world. Short-term people are going to get killed. If you try to bet one way or the other against the market short-term right now, you could go against you just like that. We're rallying, boom. 2 down days, worst down days we've had, almost, I don't know. I really didn't look, but probably this year or close to it. All right, everybody, I'm going to sign off. And as always, this video is brought to you by Catano Loeffler Realty Services. If you're looking to buy a home, sell a home, or invest in real estate in Oakville, Hamilton, Brantford, Burlington. Oh, and by the way, we're now licensed in Alberta. We can help you buy multifamilies there, so we're excited to do that. Reach out. Love to chat with you. Hit me up on Insta. Thanks, everyone. Talk to you next time.